Hey everybody, welcome back. I got Hadley here with me. We are going to continue with our TEEEC lesson. We're still in Hadley's room. It's a dark room. I don't know. It's not dark in here to us, but I don't know how that just happened, but it got lighter. Was that magic? Yeah, must have been magic. Anyway, we're in Hadley's room. We are finishing up this TEEEC essay, guys. Okay, so up to this point, we have talked about how to get a prompt. Then we talked about how to annotate the text. Then we talked about how to write the introduction and how to go through the first paragraph, okay? So today, and see, look guys, look at these nails. I'm so sorry. I know, but I point to things. Maybe we could work on that today. Like a science experiment to try to get it off? Okay. Then we can write an essay about it? No? Okay. All right, so what do we do? What happened next? So I walked Hadley through and you through how to write that first body paragraph. He did an awesome job. He typed it up for me. My mind went because it was so good. Then I said, okay, Hadley, what I need you to do now is I need you to follow that same exact format, which is TEEEC, right? And I need you to do a paragraph on the second point. And the second point, if you remember, Hadley had a thesis statement. His thesis statement was, the new guidelines do not help students because they are getting the same portion sizes and foods, okay? So the paragraph we wrote together talked about how the kids were still getting the same portion sizes. The paragraph that I challenged him to write all on his own was about how the food is still the same, okay? So now we're gonna look at the paragraph Hadley wrote on his own and we're gonna see if it followed the TEEEC format. So Hadley, I'm gonna get my trusty whiteboard up here now. And I want you to tell me your paragraph that you wrote, and I'm gonna see if I can fit it into TEEEC, and we're gonna see what all of our viewers think about it. Actually, I probably shouldn't repeat it just in case. Oh yeah, so he did the, yeah, we're gonna talk about this one first, then that one. So this one right here first. What did you say? What's the first sentence?
Additionally, the author states the next problem by writing,
Additionally, the author states the next problem by writing.
Children. Wait.
Is this a quote? What you're about to give me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, bless you. Allergies, people.
Yeah.
Allergies. Okay.
Children are still eating chicken nuggets.
Keep going. I'm fast.
Chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and pizza every month. Quotations.
Fish sticks and pizza every month?
Yes.
In quotation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's stop for a second. So this is fantastic. Good job. Couple of things I want to point out that you may have noticed. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. This is not a sentence. You're right, and that's okay. This is what Hadley has done here. He probably didn't even know it, but it's advanced. What he's done here is he has, this is the topic sentence. I know what's going to happen in this paragraph, right? Additionally, the author states the next problem, okay? He could have put a period right there. There's a word glare on my, okay, there we go. He could have put a period right there, and he could have started this, the author writes, or in the text it says, and that would have been correct as well. But he has created a more complicated sentence here, which additionally, the author states the next problem by writing, and then he gives the quotation, the evidence. He's combining these, okay? That's a more advanced sentence structure, and that's totally okay. So don't feel like this has to end in the period. You just have to have the topic of the whole paragraph here, and then you have to go on to your evidence. Hadley, did you remember to explain your evidence?
Yes.
Okay, what did you say next?
This shows.
Ooh, this shows, okay.
That they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines.
They still have
non-healthy foods.
Non-healthy, or you could say unhealthy, okay. Foods, despite the new guidelines?
Yes.
Despite the new guidelines. Okay, people, I want to point out something here. I'm going to claim that Hadley, prior to this amazing experience with doing writing with mom, would typically write, this shows they still have the same unhealthy foods. Because before I came into Hadley's life, well, I've always been Hadley's life. Before I came into Hadley's life as his writing teacher, He used to kind of stop there, right, Hadley? Would you agree?
Yes.
But now I've been really encouraging him, Hadley, you can't stop there because that's boring and all you're doing is being repetitive. You have to say the why or the because or give me some more detail. Dig a little bit deeper, you know? So he came up with this shows that they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines. He took it back to what matters. Remember, the whole question is about, do the new guidelines help students? Yes or no? And he's saying, no, he's got to always go back to that. You got to return to that thesis statement, okay? So including that they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines reminds the reader that, hey, I remember what I'm talking about here. Let's point out a few more things before I have to erase what we've done so far. I'm gonna use a different color because that just doesn't look good, make me happy right now. Okay, Hadley started his next paragraph with this word, additionally. What kind of word is that, Hadley?
Transition.
A transition word. Super duper 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 duper, and then one more duper important, okay? You gotta use transition words or your paper's not organized. And this is such an easy way to get points, right?
Yes.
Right? It's just like they always rate you on organization, and this is like how you do it. And it's super easy. Just remember these words. You only have to know a few. You know, for example, additionally, and however, and maybe all in all. You're done. Okay? Or on the other hand, yeah, well, you know, there's all kinds of them, but you know, you feel free to use more than that, but this will get you by, right? Additionally, the author states the next problem. So this is important to me because this is also part of an organization. He's telling me the next problem's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. So I know now that there's more than one problem. These are key words to include. Okay, now we have our quotation. This shows that. This tells me I'm going to explain it to you. If you didn't understand why I included this, you're about to find out. So pay attention, okay? And then he, as we just spoke, he wrote back to just about those new guidelines. Hadley, what happened? Okay, Hadley erased the whole board.
Yay!
We're gonna go to we're gonna go to second EE real quick, okay? And I might not write it down. I might just look at it. We'll see. You want me to write it down?
No, I can.
Okay. So his next, then he says, well, you read it, not me. So after you said this shows despite the new guidelines, pick up here. The author.
The author is tired of the same non-healthy foods because she says, sadly, it seems that the new guidelines had not made much of a difference.
Okay. I got to write this down. Well, I'll hold it up here where everybody can see it. Okay. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this closer to you people. All right. I'm going to fold their paper. Sorry, Hadley. Try not to be too dramatic. I don't know where he gets this dramatic stuff aside from. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get this. Okay, see where it starts with additionally? Don't look at this last paragraph. No looking ahead.
Why don't we just highlight?
Because I don't have time. Okay, so people, here's what we're talking about, okay? So I want you to look. I'm going to freeze it so you can read it. Okay. Not sure what that was, but hey. Okay, so it says, I didn't write down the whole thing, so your explanation was larger than you told me. His explanation of his first quote was, this shows that they still have non-healthy food despite the new guidelines. The author is tired of the same non-healthy foods because she says, and then he goes on to his next point of evidence. So Hadley, you're getting better and better and better and better at this whole explanation thing. Explanation should be huge. It should be the biggest part of your paragraph, okay? Your evidence, and then you're explaining why that evidence is important. So Hadley's explanation was actually not just, this shows they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines. His explanation was, this shows they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines. The author is tired of the same non-healthy foods because, and then he transitions into his next point of evidence. That was pretty awesome, right? Don't know if that was on purpose or accident. And I'm so excited I can't talk. Like, it's a new language. I'm so excited that I really can't even speak English right now. So he gave more information. The explanation provides more information for why that quotation matters. So he's giving you more information about that author and why she feels that way. So again, his explanation is, this shows they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines. The author is tired of the same non-healthy foods because she says, sadly, it seems that the new guidelines have not made much of a difference. So he's going on to his next piece of evidence. Okay, I hope he gets extra points. Your teacher give you extra points for the acting out?
Yeah,
yes, acting out of the essay. I think that this is speaking and listening skills, Miss MG, so I think that should be so much.
Yeah.
All right, so his piece of evidence is, sadly, it seems that the new guidelines have not made much of a difference. Okay, that's his second piece of evidence. Now he has to explain that evidence. Check it out, people. Let me find it. See that right there? As a result. What's that called, Hadley?
Transition word.
Transition word. Oh, it just melts my heart. Okay. Is this like a Mother's Day present, kind of?
Sure.
Okay. So, as a result, the author pleads with the schools to make more changes. He just told you why that quote matters, Hadley. Rocking it, dude. He just told you why that quote matters. As a result of this quote that I just shared with you, the author pleads with the school to make more changes. Okay, so the whole paragraph reads as follows. Additionally, the author states the next problem by writing, children are still eating chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and pizza every month. This shows that they still have non-healthy foods despite the new guidelines. The author is tired of the same non-healthy foods because she says, sadly, it seems that the new guidelines have not made much of a difference. As a result, the author pleads with the school to make more changes. Okay, now we're going to move on really quickly. So then I asked Hadley, I said, look, dude, you got one more paragraph you need to write. And in this paragraph, I need you to address the other side, okay? Because remember it said to evaluate both sides of the argument? Remember back to get up? This is why we can't just stop there. People want to stop there. Not okay.
Get it is important.
It is important. You got to know what the prompt says, and you got to answer all parts because, oh, heaven forbid that you miss points just because you didn't properly read the question. Okay, so he goes on in this, he transitions with the word however, and he says, however, the author from Article 2 disagrees. Boom. That's your topic sentence. I know now that this paragraph is about how Article 2 disagrees with Article 1, or the author of Article 2 disagrees with the author of Article 1. However is my necessary transition word. You should never start a paragraph in an essay without some kind of transition. Isn't that right, Hadley?
No, never.
Okay. The author says, okay, getting some information here, that they are getting more healthy foods at school. The author of Article 2 also says, no more processed chicken fingers, pizza, and sugary chocolate milk.
I don't buy it.
Hadley doesn't agree. Now, I could argue that this is a little bit repetitive. The author says that they are getting more healthy foods. They are getting more healthy foods at school. Oh, no, you're right. You're just backing it up. Okay, I'm changing my mind. He's good. He's just backing it up. The author says that they're now getting more healthy foods at school. The author says no more processed chicken fingers, pizza, and sugary chocolate milk. So what he did is he stated a claim, he backed it up with evidence, okay? Now he's going to explain it. This shows that the author thinks these foods are gone. Good point. That's what he says right here. He says this, okay, perfect. You're telling me why this quote matters. Hey, let me tell you why this quote matters. This shows the author thinks that those foods are gone. On the other hand, what's that called, Hadley? Transition word. On the other hand, the author from Article 1 thinks differently. Okay, so because he used the transition word, on the other hand, see that beautiful thing right there? On the other hand? Yeah, Hadley loves this whole face paper thing. We're going to have to do a separate show on how he does that. On the other hand, so I know Hadley's going to give me opposite information right now. If he had said additionally, then I would think he was going to give me more of the same. But he said on the other hand. On the other hand, the author from Article 1 thinks differently. The first author thinks that the guidelines are not working and that the students still aren't getting healthy foods. For example, the author of Article 1 says, I know that many schools are struggling to meet these guidelines, but they have to do better than this. Dramatic. I know. It's crazy. I live with this kid. Yeah. So that quotation is key, right? So now we're looking at this paragraph.
Yep.
First, he gave a quotation from author 2 stating how author 2 feels about the situation. The author 2 thinks those foods are gone. Then he gave a quotation from author 1 saying, hey, they're not gone. Okay, you got to do better. So let's see how he explains that. He says, the fact that the first author is still seeing these foods shows the second author is incorrect. At least you be an attorney.
I know.
Okay, so he just cross-examined, basically, this second author. And he gave the quote, he says, hey, look, I know that the person in the second article is saying that that the food's better, but the mere fact that the first author is still seeing these foods negates that.
Negates.
You didn't use that word. That's a mom word. But you'll learn that word soon. Maybe we'll write that down. Negates. Vocabulary for this week for Hadley. Negates. Okay. All right. So I want you to be able to freeze your computer. Make sure you have read, or maybe even take a screenshot of these last 2 paragraphs, because our next session is going to be on how to write the conclusion, and then we're done. Also, feel free to put in the comments if you know how to get my S&S fingernail polish off. Okay? Because I haven't done that yet. All right.
Like and subscribe.
All right. Yes, yes. Woo! Like and subscribe, guys. Writing, making it fun. Hey, hey, we can do online school.
Yeah.
Totally can do online school. All right. We'll see you back for the conclusion.
Woo!
Be on the edge of your seat. Woo!